call. And Director Mendez is, I believe, on Zoom. Are you there, Aaron?
Yes, he's right there.
Okay. And John Wiley is on the phone right now. John Wiley's trying to get on. We have only a couple of issues of business today that we want to handle, and that is discussion and possible action in purchasing a bulldozer. Ms. Cavender has additional information or to the point information.
We're not gonna do the pledge or anything?
Well, now let's proceed.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll have you do it. Each one you do is Zoom account, and every other time we've done this, it's never required me to do that. It just ran me to the phone number.
Can you,
And then I'll take a.
Do you want me to go back and?
It's not letting me do it.
can you hear me, John? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, just, you can chime in when,
They should be able to call into the Zoom number and put in the code and just talk on his phone.
oh, the Zoom number?
Yeah, don't we have that?
I mean, yeah, we get hand him a phone number here real quick.
They're gonna give you a phone number so you can talk on the phone on Zoom.
You can also do an invite via the Zoom.
You can do it there? We got a minute.
Invite. Not seeing an invite.
I can go to my
You
computer.
can go to participants.
Okay, yes, sir. Oh, yes,
And then there's an invite.
yes, sir. All right, let's invite by email,
Text.
text, no.
Yeah, it's just
So you have the invitation, and I'll do it. I'll handle it. I'll send it to
Yes, sir.
to
Thank you, sir.
John.
John's gonna,
Yeah, because
Aaron's gonna invite you, okay?
we're not logged into any sort of account on this computer, right? Like just send an email or
I'm
something.
gonna hang up so you can try to get in, okay? Okay. I don't think he has two phones with him.
It's,
Just a question while y'all are waiting.
Yes, sir.
How did we send the notifications out? Because I got no notification.
Your dispatch. It was notified on Tuesday.
My email.
I would,
Email.
I guess, have the girls double check. Have you got any other dispatches this week?
Did you
Is it
get
pos-
any of the dispatches?
Never have.
I saw
Oh,
it.
well, did you sign up for your dispatch? You have to sign up
We were
for it.
never given the information to sign up for this.
Well, after the meeting, then let me know. I didn't know, so I can put you in.
It goes on, she does that at courtesy, dumps it on lot owners and the other
Oh, there
Facebook
you go.
page.
It's-
I know, but she does that as a courtesy. She
Yeah.
does a dispatch, and if she has time,
There
she'll
we
throw it out to lot owners or
My
her
favorite.
Facebook
We only
page.
knew about it because I drove by the board yesterday and by the security and saw it.
Yeah,
And I told him, and he said, no, there's not. So I called Sharon and she said, yes, there is.
Okay, there we go. Director Wiley, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us,
oh,
John?
there he is. Yeah, unless somebody tells me they didn't get a dispatch, I would have.
John, you wanna wait?
I make him stop.
Should be able to unmute yourself.
He's an animal, you can make him stop.
John, unmute yourself. I don't know if you can hear me.
Looks frozen.
You can unmute him.
He's sitting in his truck, I think.
Oh, I don't.
There we go. It won't let me read myself.
Oh,
Okay,
you're there.
okay, so you're there?
Anyway,
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
We can hear you,
I
John.
hear, yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
all right, Ms. Cameron's gonna explain a little bit about the bulldozer that we got information on during the week.
All right, so we got some information for bulldozer that Sharon had given us on Saturday at our regular board meeting. So I'm just gonna read what that information is so you all understand it. And it is a D5H. And in 2019, a new turbo was installed, new engine, rebuilt the injector pump, new injectors, new final drive seals, new rocker bushings. All this was done at 12,585 hours. Also resealed 5 hydraulic cylinders in the last 3 years. Dozer has 13,040 hours on its current. The D5 is lighter, more fuel efficient, suitable for moderate landfill tasks. It can serve well on smaller or lighter landfill sites and functions like spreading cover, grading slopes where the full power of a D6 isn't necessary. We will only be using the bulldozer a couple days a week at the landfill. The D6, more powerful, bigger blade, better for tough, continuous landfill pushings. I don't really need to read about the D6. But the typical price range for D5, lower end 19,000 used or higher end 30,000, mid range 100,000 to 300,000. And prices are largely based on year, hours, attachments, and whether it is LGP or standard. I believe this is 1990 because it says 1970 between 1990. Didn't see that.
I'm not sure what year, they didn't tell me the year.
Oh, 20, well, it says in 2019, so I don't
Yeah.
have the specific year.
Now, what was, and how much are they charging us?
$25,000. John, went over it with Sharon. John's very well versed in, big machinery. He said it sounded fairly good.
And who inspected it this week?
Philip, Lee, and Steve Wood went out. They drove it. They were very comfortable with it. They said it would do the job. And it'll fit the purposes that we need. That will also save the amount of money that we're using right now on roll-offs. So we're spending $90 a week in roll-offs alone for that. And once we have this and we can go back to using landfill for what it's for, that cost will just help with that
Long-term.
cost, yes. And so 2 approvals would need, or amendments would need to be there. 1 approval for the purchase, which I believe we discussed coming out of the operations. And second, because it wasn't in the budget, we would have to, I believe, amend that to have that taken out of the operations in our budget.
Director, is there any other information you want to add or subtract to what Ms. Cavender talked about? John or Aaron or Jason, Sharon?
What's our operating costs for the bulldozer per week?
Well, that's a good question.
We'll
I
find
had
out.
given that out quite some time ago, but it would be 5 men at, per hour. I'm gonna say at least $1,000 plus the roll off. Yeah, we have 2 that are on the truck. And then the rest have to do manual pickup to put it in the roll offs, which we
Okay.
didn't have to do that before.
I think
Okay, that's not the question, but that adds to the $90 a week you're talking about for the roll-offs. It's the labor. So it's the labor we're spending on the roll-offs in addition to the roll-off.
Okay. I wish I would have been asked this before I came out here because I would have had all that because I had it in an email quite some time ago.
It's fine. Don't sweat it. This is a conversation about the building.
Okay. I can go ahead and add it up real quick on my phone if you want me to.
I'm just curious.
Charlena, you had said $90 a week, but it's 900, right?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's 900 a month. Oh my God, 900 a week. Yes, I'm sorry. I just had 9 in my head.
Right. So,
Yes.
and just to clarify,
Thank you.
I mean, the labor is not, they're probably not completely parallel universes, but the labor gets used, to bring stuff within the port to the dumpster and thrown into the dumpster. So, we're not talking about a whole lot of additional labor, but there's probably some slight increase of labor. And then as far as the cost to run the dozer for a couple hours, you're probably looking at burning about, 7 to 8 gallons an hour. So, call it $100, $150 a week, something in that ballpark.
Well, quick math, just.
By the time you calculate in maintenance and then wear and tear and fuel.
Well, just quick math on my calculator, per day for 2 days, it'd be 780 plus the 900 and then plus gas.
Yeah, but you're counting the 700 as labor, correct?
Yes,
But the labor flows in a parallel universe to
Yeah.
a certain extent, right? Because
Right.
we're not, the only labor we're incurring is whatever additional time it would take from the second the last bag of trash is put in a dumpster from there to when the machine shuts down and they're done at the dump. Does that make sense?
Yes, this is just an estimate out there.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the bulldozer?
I don't have any.
Okay, I'm asking Sharon or Jason. Anybody want to make a motion? The motion, make a motion.
Should we amend the budget first to know where it's coming, the money's gonna be coming from? I don't know if we need to do the amendment first and then vote on the bulldozer, or the bulldozer may need amendment.
Well, me, I don't have the bulldozer information in my packet. What's the cost of the bulldozer?
25,000.
5,000.
And we just, 25,000, and we discussed either
Okay, okay. I gotcha. Okay.
25,000, then now we gotta decide whether we're gonna take it out of operational or restricted.
I'm for operations.
John,
Picture cut out. It's not up on the screen. You should still be there in voice.
John, can you hear us? John?
I think it dropped him.
Connection's a little spotty.
Oh, it froze. It froze. There he is.
It's frozen.
John, can you hear us?
Oh, no, it's good.
Can you hear us?
Frozen.
He's trying to talk.
So, all right, we're being asked to spend 25K from whichever budget, but the question is, where does this fit into the budget? Where does this set our operational balance? And this ties into the budget amendments anyway. So, how does this fit in the budget? Where does this put us?
Well, this would go into maintenance. So well, about 4 months ago, we received a check from Rio Grande because we are a co-op. And so that was our dividends that we received back. So that could go toward the bulldozer. We also have the cost that we'll be saving for the $900 for the roll-offs that we're spending. And then we may be able to sell the other bulldozer to Mr. Ward. So it's talking to him about it to see what his thoughts are. And if that were the case, that would be additional funding towards that.
And we can sell it, whether he buys it or not, we're gonna sell it. The old bulldozer.
I think that would be the best.
But we don't have an actual budget amendment proposed. We don't know which categories you're gonna add labor, remove labor from, and add the 25 grand to. So we have really nothing to look at.
So the question, yeah, it's for the question is, okay, if this is amending the budget, we have budgeted for roll-offs in our current budget. Reducing the roll-offs in our current budget and adding the cost of the bulldozer and the labor in the budget. Where does that put us in the budget? And what's our total cost on the bulldozer all in? Besides 25K also, like the sales price.
That's it.
That's it, 25,000.
Sales tax.
Was it charge of sales tax?
It's going from a private individual.
You know, don't
Sure,
try
it sells that.
so you sell a vehicle.
So right now, our maintenance is $40,000 a month, favorable, because we don't have the amount of employees that we would normally have. So there's savings right there. So I would say if we have that $13,000, which is already in the bank, and we do the $900, that's $3,600 right there. Let's say within 5 months, we'd have that paid off to $18,000. Plus that $13,000.
I mean, it would be helpful if we had a budget with some changes on it, some Excel cells highlighted, and so we could actually approve something.
Okay, that's great, but that wasn't something that was brought up that I needed to have.
That would be
for-
like a common thing that anyone would do when presenting a budget amendment. Or we didn't realize that you would have not done that.
Yeah, what we're gonna do today is approve the purchase of the bulldozer.
It sounds like what you need.
Hold on. We're gonna, the order of business today was to purchase the bulldozer. It was brought up the issue of we're gonna use the restricted fund or the operations. That's what we need to decide.
We have to.
That amount-
We have to amend the budget, as she said,
Okay,
correctly.
but we still have to buy the bulldozer. And if you don't wanna buy the bulldozer, then we don't buy the bulldozer. But we need to still buy the bulldozer, and that's what we came prepared here for, to purchase it. The rest of it will get figured out.
You just have to
This is how we normally handle things, like not in a normal manner. Or approving budget amendments, or even having a budget, or even trying to follow a budget, or even thinking about a budget.
If we couldn't afford it, we wouldn't even have pursued it.
That's not a proper
Well,
procedure.
then I'll make
way
a
to do that.
suggestion, then we cancel the special meeting. I rework the budget and then I bring that to another special meeting that we have. I have not worked in amending budgets before, because any budget I've ever worked on, we dealt with what we had, that was the budget, and then we used that budget, and if we had to take other parts of that budget and spend less in an area to make up for an area that we were spending more in, that's what we did. That's what I did for 13 years when I had a budget.
But remember all those budget meetings we had where we all sit here and discuss for hours and weeks and months and days and time, and we agreed on a budget. So what's the point of the board spending all that time to approve said budget when we can just flip GL codes anytime we want to and then just not, that's pointless. We might as well not even have one.
I understand, Jason, but I'm telling you my experience. My experience is if I have a bottom line, I follow my bottom line. And it is my responsibility to make sure I have that bottom line. If I'm going to go over, then I have to reduce in other areas. Bottom line is what the budget is. So if that is incorrect, please let me know.
It's incorrect.
Okay.
And
My issue is that, my understanding is that we could afford it, that's why we're pursuing it. That's why we took the time to have someone check it out. And Sharon was nice enough to find this one, we had it checked out, we looked into it. We're in need of a bulldozer. I mean, I'm not sure it should be this complicated.
We can approve a bulldozer expense because we have to, and there's reasons to avoid like losing fill and dealing with TCEQ. And we know it's an emergency, but all of this is budget stuff, and then the next two items are also budget stuff. So the budget should be presented, and yes, Jason's correct. It's not just the bottom line and approved budget. It's you approve what you're spending on the budget and where what your revenue is, and if that changes, you make an amendment to the budget. You pass it as a public entity, publicly owned entity.
Got it.
Gentlemen, may I speak?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I'm gonna slightly disagree. I do get Jason, I get your point. I get Aaron's point. And I think there's a time and place for it, but I think the more prudent thing to do here would be to buy the bulldozer or make a motion one way or the other. And if we would then be removing roll-offs and all that, and then we can amend the budget and see where we sit at the time. But the budget doesn't have a bulldozer in it. So, this would be what I would consider emergency costs, but we've also collected a lot of money through collections. So we could either do this out of the restricted fund or we could do it out of the general fund. And I propose that we do it out of the general fund. But this is it feels to me like a mountain out of a molehill. We can figure this out all on the back end, and we can talk about it at the next regular board meeting and just iron the details out, which may or may not be exact. I can tell you right now, they're not going to be exact. They're going to be close. But everything in this budget is a ballpark. So we can try to amend it a million times and make it perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. So, let's move forward and we'll fill it in on the back end at the next regular board meeting when Charlene has time to reduce those costs and iron out the small details.
Thank you, John. I agree. We should purchase the bulldozer. That's not the point of my conversation. And I do also agree that it should likely be a general fund thing. So,
Does anybody want to?
but it does need to be a budget amendment. And as in, we can do this on the bulldozer now, but this needs to amend the budget then. It needs to be amended in the budget.
Correct.
So I motion to approve the purchase of the bulldozer as described with a pending budget amendment for this bulldozer to come out of the general fund.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? What, do we have two up? John, are you for it? Okay, it's unanimous. Right. All right. The next item up is amendments to the budget, specifically for two employees that were recently hired.
As you know, I made a new position for, Gilby. Not for Lee Gilby, but a new position that I hired Lee Gilby for, as a facilities and infrastructure compliance, person, and he is a 1099 contractor. And we did have the funds in our maintenance, to be able to do that. And so I recommend making that amendment for that addition, which will be added into the revised budget that I have to present. And that would also go with Annabelle McNew, who I also have contracted out for website maintenance, meeting minutes, preparation, vendor agreement with her, which is a very small area, which part of that would be marketing. We have a small budget in here for marketing. So I will make that amendment with Lee and the bulldozer and present it at, I would say, our next board meeting or sooner if wanted.
Okay, so we want to table these until the next meeting.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Can you clarify the money in the maintenance?
Yeah, we
There's money in the maintenance.
used to have 7 employees there. We only have 5.5 now. And so that left room to have that in our budget as another.
But there was a cost reduction in the approved budget.
It was, if you look at the budget every month, I'm $40,000 favorable. So we lost more than that.
I'm not talking about the bottom line. I'm talking about.
I'm
the
talking
cost
about
budget.
maintenance. That's how it was calculated. If you look at the budget for maintenance, it's $40,000 less than what we're spending.
Okay, so we're not going to approve the amendments for.
But that's a.
I mean, even more than the bulldozer, I would have liked to have seen this busted out in the budget and actually where it was gonna come from and where we were favorable, where we weren't, and how this was gonna improve our bottom line or not. And then would have been in a position to discuss these amendments.
I did add that in there originally. I showed it to y'all with that in there, but I didn't bring it up today.
Well, I mean,
My apologies.
typically, there could have been in our packet, an old budget or the new budget or some comments on the
Jason,
spreadsheet.
I asked you what you wanted in your packet.
If I have to specify every single thing that everybody does, it's too tedious.
Okay, well, you didn't
That's-
specify anything and I asked you.
If you looked up what do you provide when you request a budget amendment to a board of directors, I'm assuming it's going to say quite a bit of things that might like to have in there. So,
Okay, so the request is to show the amended budget in order to be passed. Because I do have the budgets open in front of me. And I can see the difference. But if we're talking about a budget amendment, an amendment to the budget and an approval of the budget amendment requires a review of the actual budget to approve, and then budget becomes our working budget.
And today we're agreeing to amend the budget, correct?
no,
We cannot agree on amending the budget without seeing it,
But amended to,
without seeing the amendment.
okay, but we already have these two people hired, so.
well, that's unfortunate that
Hold
that
on.
happened well before we saw any
Hold on.
budget amendment proposal or anything of that nature.
I didn't interrupt you. The point of this is that we have two people that are hired that are helping us, that have been hired by Shard under operations. And it's my understanding we came in here it was my understanding we're coming in here to approve to approve an amendment to the budget so that they would be in the budget because it wasn't in the original budget. So are we gonna do that today or not?
I don't
There'll be
think,
an amended budget to approve.
I will have it by
No,
next week.
The amendment is to add these two people to it.
Well, it sounds like Charlene has answered that question a couple of times. And we do have an additional amendment to do the over-unders on the bulldozer, the purchase and removal of, the dumpers, not so, it's technical. It's
You're breaking up, John.
Here's the amendment, so why don't we push that? Okay, you ready?
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No. Can you hear
You're
me?
breaking up,
Yes.
yes, that's funny.
Yeah.
You're freezing up.
The urgent matter was the bulldozer, so,
Let me call you.
Okay.
I'm calling you, John.
Might be going to the dead zone.
Yeah.
Telephone number 8.
Can I get clarity on something you said, please?
Who?
who did you ask?
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Are you proposing that we approve amending the budget, the presented information of the new two positions without the budget?
Stand by, John. Stand by. The limited discussion we had last week was to add these two people to the budget. And that's how I understood it, meaning that we needed to amend the budget, so these two new people needed to be a part of our budget. So I understood we were gonna come here to approve that. But I see what you're saying.
Without the actual budget?
Okay, okay. We discussed it. A dispatch was sent out regarding this agenda on Tuesday. I've been looking at my emails. I haven't seen one request from any of us or specifically Sharp regarding a very specific question. So today she's being asked, she doesn't have that information. So we're asking that information. So now we will have to have that information at the next meeting unless you all want to have another special meeting.
Well, my question is, how can we add to the budget without seeing the budget?
Stand by. Go ahead, John.
All right, well, what I was trying to say is that the urgent matter for our meeting was for the bulldozer. And then we kind of threw in the budget amendments as kind of, let's get this done while we're here. And it sounds like there's a few little things that need to get ironed out, not only with this, but also with the bulldozer amended back into the dumpsters and all that. So why don't we table these two issues and just bring them up at the next meeting? And, because we're gonna have to anyway, and we'll just kill all three birds with one stone.
I got a problem with that. Does everyone agree with that?
And we already approved the bulldozer, so there's not really doing that.
No, we're not gonna do that, but talk about this other item.
No, I think we should get the bulldozer and then get a clearly marked up budget that shows exactly what the changes were, and then we can vote on
But we
that.
already approved the bulldozer.
Yeah, the bulldozer's over.
Okay,
I'm just saying, let's come back with the revised budget, and I don't know.
Yeah,
what-
so that on the next agenda, we would have all the budget was amended by buying the dozer, what that does, and removing the dumpsters, and then we would have the 2 employee hires and how that affects the budget, and all of those to be approved and amended and approved.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with even another special meeting just to approve an amended budget.
well, we can discuss it. I don't know what everybody's availability is. If not, we'll just put it on the next
I
agenda.
mean, honestly, we can have totally Zoom meetings if we want to. We don't even have to come out of our house. We can just get on for 10 minutes. If we've already seen the budget presented in our packet beforehand and all the clear markup of it, then we can just get on and say, yep, we agree to that, or we don't. And it could be a 15-minute operation. So,
Or we can just wait till the next meeting.
or we can wait till the next meeting. It's fine.
It will need to be announced either as a special meeting or at a board meeting. It will have to be on the agenda that what we're approving.
Yes.
So it has to be open to everybody. It
Right.
can't just be
No, of course.
us coming in on Zoom.
No, of course. We'll have a noticed meeting.
Okay, at this time, my suggestion is we just have it on the agenda for the next regular meeting. I also encourage directors, if you want something very specific, so that Charlene doesn't feel she's being sandbagged, send her the questions ahead of time, starting tomorrow. That way we can have all the answers for y'all's questions.
Okay, so in the future, all budget amendments should have a detailed,
Send her an email.
A revised budget to review.
yeah, revised.
I understand that. That was made clear, but I do want to state that my prior position that was much different than that, so I appreciate the feedback. So now that I have that notated, that will be the way I do it in the future.
John, you got anything else to say?
No, sir.
Okay.
I motion to make the budget amendments for the next, to add them as an agenda item.
You wanna,
for the next meeting.
sure, you wanna write that down?
My deal, I'd like to ask one more question because we've already hired Leo, but he's been on the payroll without us doing all this. Is her request to hire Annabelle to do the website and all that, are we gonna have to wait to officially hire her after we do the
I
meeting?
already hired her.
She already hired him.
I sent an email to the board with what I was doing and everybody was all for it. So she's already done work.
They're both working. We just have
Okay,
to.
I
fix
didn't
the budget.
know if we were gonna have to wait on that since.
I want to, I'm sorry, I want to interrupt. I made a motion. There's a motion on the table.
Say the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Alright, can we motion to adjourn?
Could you repeat your motion, Karen, to make sure we heard it, that what we voted on?
Sharon, did you
The
hear?
motion wasn't seconded. We had a unanimous vote, but the procedure wasn't followed.
No, John seconded it. John seconded it.
Oh, we did. Okay, thank you. I guess I missed that.
Sharon, want you to repeat your motion again for clarification, even though it's already done. Sharon, want you to repeat that. Can you hear me? Hold on, John. John, Aaron can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Somebody call him.
Send him a
Well,
thing.
it's already been done, so I'm not,
He just motioned that we table the items and add them to the
Right.
next agenda for the budget amendments.
Right.
That's all.
okay.
All right, folks, motion to adjourn.
My
Second.
apologies, everybody.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is at 5:36. Thank you, everyone.